Hello and welcome to another segment of the St George's Road Food Festival 2020. Today we're with my close friend Ali from the Iraqi community, and we're going to talk about my community, the Iraqi community in Shepparton, and a bit about the Iraqi culture. Welcome Ali, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sarmed.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, no worries. No, thanks for inviting me here. So my name's Ali al-Battatt, Ali al-Battatt. And yeah, I've been a local member in Shepparton for about 20 years. I came into Australia when I was only 1 year old in the year 2000. And yeah, still here.
That's right. And Ali, obviously I've known you for a very long time and I know your family really well. You're very active in the Iraqi community, and that's really good. It's good to see young people being very active. Tell us a bit about, why you're so passionate about being active in the community and how that means a lot to you.
Yeah. Now, working for community has been a massive thing, and thanks to you and other people like my older brothers here in Shep that kind of got me involved in that section. I've been involved, I think, since about 2014. I think that's when I first started. It started with our Qasim Youth Organisation, one of our local Iraqi organisations, and then it started, building up with working with the Smith family, other organisations in Shep, and just doing a lot of volunteering. Whenever there's a volunteer opportunity, I remember putting my hand up.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I really enjoyed.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you do it really well. So
yeah.
Good job. So obviously you're hosting us to talk about the Iraqi culture today.
Yeah.
We might as well start with what do people usually do when people come over or guests come over to the Iraqi house? Obviously we're sitting on the ground, so we'll talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so firstly is, people might recognize that looks a bit different. So that's what we called our Gada. Okay. The Gada is, it's some people find it comfortable.
Yeah.
And others don't. Okay. When you're just sitting down, just like how we are, pretty comfortable. The first thing that we usually give is our qahwa. Okay. So that's our qahwa al-Iraqiyya. Okay. Iraqi coffee. Yeah. Which is served using this, which is called the dalla.
Okay.
Okay. And then we've got our finajin here. So depending on how many people there are.
So the finjan is like one cup.
Pretty much
for coffee.
100%. Yeah. So they've got their special artwork on them as well. Okay. And with the dalla, the longer you've been using it for, the better taste you get. So if you look at this dalla, it looks pretty old. Okay, to you, not so fancy, but that
looks fancy to me.
Yeah. It's actually been used more than 30 years. That's what I know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll serve you some, and when I serve you, you'll realize that I hold the dalla with the left hand,
always,
finjan with the right, and give you, and
I'll
you
take with the right,
with your right as well. Yep.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Thank you, shukran.
No worries.
So always bismillah before we have. And this is hot, so I know when I've been given coffee or qahwa, I sometimes, just shake it up.
You give it a...
just to cool it down a little, because I don't want to
get a shot straight away.
Absolutely.
And also another thing, if I was, in a proper Gada where there's, a lot of our elders, okay, being a young person and, anyone that serves the qahwa, I've actually have to be standing up, but just due to today's circumstances, I'm sitting down.
And when I give, I'll do this. Thank you.
That's right. So
look, Ali, I've always shaken the finjan when I've given it back.
Yeah.
And I've been told that that's to say thank you and I'm done. I don't want more.
That's correct.
That's right.
Yeah, because especially in a Gada, okay, you don't want to...
So Gada means like a seating. Where there's a lot of people.
When there's a lot of people, they're speaking about something, okay? Instead of you actually stopping what you're speaking, with everyone else and saying thank you, shukran, okay? You're giving it back. Shaking it means, that's it. That's all you want.
Thank you.
Giving it back just like that means give me another shot.
So somebody that hasn't been to a lot of seatings or gatherings, they don't know this rule. They'll just give it back. The guy would pull back again.
That's right. They'll continue for as much as, whenever you give it back like this,
you'll feel like your head's exploding.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's actually embarrassing not to drink it. So if you haven't shook it, okay, and I give it to you, and then you don't want to drink it, it's actually really rude of you that you didn't drink it.
And if you just say, look, my friend, I've had enough. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The guy would probably be like, you should have just shaken that.
You should have shaken it, yeah.
Yes.
So what we usually have is, because it's a bit bitter, okay, we usually eat some dates with it. Yeah. So what I've got for you today is 3 types of different dates. Okay, you choose whichever one you like.
Yeah, I like I'm just going to go for this one with the sesame.
Yeah, no, that looks pretty good. And the sesame has been kind of cooked as well. Okay, so it's a bit warm. These dates, as you can see, there's a variety of them. So this one here, I think I'm pretty sure it's from Iraq, okay? Originally from Iraq. This one here as well, but I think this one here is from either the UAE or Saudi Arabia. So that's kind of to add a bit of sweetness to your coffee.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
And you know, in Iraq we have lots of date trees and lots of varieties of dates, isn't it?
Definitely, no. There's a lot of different kinds.
Especially
Depending
in
on
the
what
south.
area. The south is known for their dates. Their dates are amazing, and they do importing all across the world. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you know, I know before coronavirus, when I would go to your house or when we're sitting down, you know, the closer somebody is to the other person, you'd want to like tuck them in and sit them right next to you.
That's
Obviously, right now we have to be separated.
Yeah. Because we are part of our culture, we're really touchy in a way, okay? You know, when you come to visit me, I've got to, shake hands with you, give you a tight hug, kiss you in the face, okay? That's part of our culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been so different and so awkward in a way right now that I can't do that.
And you know,
I could just give you a wireless one like that.
Thank you. You know, I know that with our culture, you know, sometimes people, when they see us, you know, greet each other.
Yeah.
It's like you embrace your brother and you kiss them. And sometimes people think, what are they doing? Why are they kissing? You know,
that's right.
Usually a man and a woman would do that, not like two men. But in our culture, it's about that brotherhood and it's showing emotion.
That's right. It's, you know, it's showing that culture and stuff. Like, you know, if I'd come in a Gada, okay, where there's, you know, a lot of people, and for example, I skip Sarmed and don't say hi to him, shake hands, that actually shows that there's something wrong.
Absolutely, yeah.
So shaking hands and giving that hug is part of our culture.
Yes.
And then, you know, depending on where you come from, Iraq, I'd either give you a kiss, okay, or, you know, it could be just shaking hands, or depending on where you come from.
And, you know, sometimes if you're walking down the street, it's just a quick one, you know.
That's right, yeah, definitely.
So, Ali, you know, you mentioned you have something sweet with the coffee, and I've always had that with you.
Yeah.
I know that sometimes people offer other things like desserts or other things with the coffee or with the chai, tea. That's also something that could take place?
It's definitely part of our culture, yeah. So we've got, you know, we have a variety of amazing desserts. Like, you know, some that are really known are like, you know, your baklava, okay, and that baklava comes in many different types.
Oh, dahin.
Baklava, dahina, burma, okay, all these different types, mahallabi, okay. And
trying to find an English translation to all those, I think it's impossible.
Oh no, Google Translate wouldn't find any of these.
Yes, so, and the taste, no way. No way you could replace that.
100%. It's just different. Like, you know, each location has something that they're so specific at. So you see baklavas made, you know, by a variety of different cultures, but each one has a different taste. Yeah,
absolutely. So I think when we talk about the Iraqi dishes, like dolma comes to mind with me. Like, not in desserts, but just the normal food that we have.
Yeah.
So I think the closest thing that I could think about in the Australian culture would be, I don't know, maybe like vine leaves rolls.
Yeah, probably.
But ours is even different again.
Yeah, and probably, you know, just reminding me of, you know, the Gada that we're sitting in and, you know, the culture that we have right now. Probably the first meal crosses my mind is fattah, okay?
Fattah, yeah, absolutely.
Fattah, also called quzi in different parts of Iraq.
Which is big plate, like big plate of rice.
Definitely. So
with like a lamb leg, is it?
If I've got you know, a very close person to me that I really respect, or, you know, an elder from the community that's coming for a visit, if I don't have fattah on, you know, part of the dishes that are there, that's not so nice for me.
Or you have a guest that you haven't seen in a long time.
100%, yeah. So that's, you know, these are just, you know, part of our generosity. You know, that does cost a lot of money to make.
Yeah.
But, you know, we have to make it.
I know,
You see some people that are so broke and so poor, but they still manage to get that.
Absolutely.
On the, you know,
there's many stories, actually.
Just to show how generous they are, because, you know, part of our culture, we're really generous in a lot of things. So, you know, if you know, coffee is rarely, we rarely charge for coffee wherever you go. You know, even
chai or coffee.
Yeah,
you just drink.
Yeah, if anything, it's probably something that's so minimum, like, you know, 25 cents or something.
And that's somebody running a business based on that.
Exactly.
You know? But everyone else will just literally give you a complimentary tea and coffee.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And even today, look at your hospitality. You've bought 3 kinds of dates,
not
just
only one.
And that just happens naturally.
That's right.
You think to yourself, maybe if I just bring one, it's
not enough.
Yeah, that's not going to be okay. Yeah. So I'll bring 3 kinds.
That's right. Yeah.
And the seating, like Ali, you mentioned a little bit about the seating, but I know we've got the Ayat al-Kursi here, which is a verse from the Quran.
That's correct.
That that a lot of people would have at home.
Yeah.
Is it for hafal? Like for protection?
So I actually have this in my own bedroom, okay, and it really, it's as you said, it's more about hafal, okay, so protection. So we read Ayat al-Kursi when I'm leaving the house in the morning, I'd read it, or when I'm, part of our soccer games when we used to play soccer back in the days.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd read it before going on the field, and it's just something before an exam, wherever I go, anything that's intense, reading this verse really means a lot to me. It brings protection, success, and a lot of different things that come from this verse. From the Quran.
So it feels like you've got an angel guarding you.
That's right.
When you read
yeah,
it,
it's just remembering Allah.
Yeah.
During that moment that
Absolutely.
we have to remember him. We remember him 5 times a day.
Absolutely.
During our 5 prayers. But then more than that is like having things like that in our rooms, our Gada, our in our car sometimes.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
always have these verses around.
No, 100%. And I think it's very important, not only faith-wise, but also culture-wise, to be able to make sure that the young ones understand the importance of having such things with them,
100%,
to protect them.
It's passing that culture on from one generation to another. Because sometimes we go to Gadat these days, and we stop seeing as much of these. Okay, now we see just the normal coffee, like your cappuccino. Or your espresso or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it makes me miss these kind because, there's a special taste to that.
And, usually with this coffee, if we were to have it, let's say, in a traditional setting, the fire would be different, isn't it? Like 100%. It would be like charcoal and the flavor of the wood would even be within the coffee, isn't it?
You'd really taste that wood, that anyone that specializes in that coffee, you could tell whether I've made this on the stove or using actual natural charcoal.
Well, for the sake for our viewers today, I want to ask you for a favor.
Yeah.
You've always given me coffee when I've come to your house, and it's always tasted amazing. And I know you've told me in the past that there's different ways that you can make coffee, depending on what you've got available, where you're at, and how much of a hurry you're in.
That's right.
I know you've mentioned that there was a simple way that you can do it using things that you can purchase from the supermarket.
That's correct.
And it still tastes good enough to be able to serve. And obviously the experience, having the coffee in a finjan with the dalla, and the dalla being 20 plus years old or 30 plus years old, all of that adds to the taste. So I think it'd be only fair that you show me now, you reveal your secret of how you make this coffee from scratch using things that we can purchase at the supermarket. And maybe our viewers will get a chance to make some of that at home.
No worries, we'll do that. Let's go ahead.
Thank you. All right, let's go.